Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you saw from the title, I wanted to talk about my experience with fibroids or my fibroid journey. I don't really like calling it a fibroid journey because it's not like a weight loss journey. It's not something that I would look forward to dealing with. But I did see, on YouTube or just talking to a lot of people that, having fibroids or dealing with fibroids is really prevalent, especially in the African American community. So I want to share my experience as far as what I'm going through now when it comes to having fibroids. So around like 2013, 2014, it all started then. I was having pains, like sharp, horrible pains. My periods were super heavy. Like, I'm not going to get too much into detail about that, but they were super heavy. It was ridiculous. But the pain was just unbearable. There would be times where I'd be at work and I'd go in the bathroom and I'd be in the stall crying. No one would really know, but or I would ask to leave work early because the pain literally felt like somebody was stabbing me with a knife in my abdomen area. So I ended up going to my gynecologist because not only was that happening, but like my stomach started protruding out. And at that point, it's not like I was, eating unhealthy. I wasn't gaining weight, but my stomach was just getting bigger and bigger. So I went to my gynecologist and I remember I was laying on the table and he's like, oh, now don't stick your stomach out. And I'm like, I'm not sticking my stomach out. It was literally, it looked like that. So we ended up getting the ultrasounds and I found out that I had it was like a 7 centimeter and a 9 centimeter. At that point, he was like, we can do a myomectomy. It may make a little small incision. They take it out and you'll be fine afterwards. He did kind of say that the fibroids could grow back. He didn't really say it, but he mentioned it. Like, he's like, they could come back, it's a chance that they come back. I ended up having the surgery because the pain, I'm telling you, the pain was horrible. So that was like the first time I ever got cut open. It wasn't the first surgery I had. It was a process, but got through it. And then I felt, after I healed, obviously, I felt better. I didn't have any pains. My stomach wasn't protruding out. I was good. So fast forward about like 5 or 6 years, after the fact, I started feeling like a little bit of pain. It wasn't like the pains from when I initially had, fibroid. So, 5, 6 years later, like I said, it was like 2019-ish. I was having a little bit of pain, nothing crazy. My periods were still normal. They weren't as light as they were after I had the surgery, but they weren't as heavy as when I had before the first surgery, if that makes any sense. It was like a normal period. So I was going through something else with my legs. My legs were swelling up. This has nothing to do with fibroids, but my legs were swelling up and nobody knew why. So I went to every doctor, and while I saw a neurologist, because they just wanted me to do like routine testing to make sure I didn't have any problems with my back, I got an MRI for my low back, and the MRI report showed that I had a large cyst. So the neurologist at the time was like, it could be that the cyst is pushing on your spine, whatever. She's like, I really want you to see your gynecologist to get this cyst looked at. I'm like, all right, fine. So I go back to my gynecologist, just to get cleared, thinking like, can we just rule this out, because my legs were swelling up and that was really bothering me. Found out I had another large fibroid. Well, I meant to say earlier, when I had the 2 fibroids, I had 2 large fibroids, and then I also had 6 small fibroids. So they cleared them all out. So they were all gone. So now here we are, 2019, 2020, I got another large fibroid, and my gynecologist at the time, he practiced at another office. My gynecologist is still practicing now, but now he's with someone else. So at that time he was affiliated with this office, and I'm like, what can I do? I'm like, I really don't want to have surgery again. He's like, well, you can have a hysterectomy or he just named like 3 surgeries. Pretty much they all seem the same, but I was not trying to get cut open again. I'm like, I can't, not right now, man. So at that point in time, I cut out meat. I was doing my little research and I thought that red meat contributed to the size of your fibroids. I'm not sure if it's true or not. Some people say yes, some people say no. I don't know, but I cut out red meat. I was only eating fish and whatever. I cut out chicken too, because when I go big, I go big. Like, I'm not. but I needed some type of protein, so I kept fishing. So about for another year and a half, I was only eating fish and yeah, just fish pretty much, and everything else. So by the time I went back to see my gynecologist, I had another ultrasound. The size of the fibroid actually went down. So I was like, wow. He was like, you don't have to have this hysterectomy anymore. I'm like, great. So now here we are today. Now last year, now mind you, I told you I cut out red meat. What I wasn't doing, I wasn't supplementing for the lack of nutrients that I was missing. So I am anemic, like a lot of us are. I wasn't taking any iron pills. I wasn't doing any of that. And it's not like I was doing it on purpose. I kind of forgot about it. We just kept going, living life, exercising, working out, until I ended up in the hospital again for anemia. And then I had to get a blood transfusion, but that's a whole nother story. Fast forward to today. Now we're back. So the fibroid is literally still here. So I saw my gynecologist recently, and he was just like, it's just sitting there. It's degenerative. It's just sitting there. It's just going to cause issues, meaning like it's just going to be a nuisance. And I'm like, I thought, when we last spoke before, you said that it went down. He's like, yeah, I mean, if it's not bothering you, you can just keep it there. He's like, but it's old. It's just sitting there and it's old. So when I realized, I'm like, well, why did I cut meat out if my fibroid is still like growing? Like it was still growing anyway. So here I am today. My gynecologist did recommend that I had that I get a uterine fibroid embolization, I believe. I might be making that up, but it's an embolization to where they, I guess, go in and there's heat. There's some type of heat that they use that will slowly get rid of the fibroid over time. So it's not invasive. It's like a 45-minute to an hour procedure, and you're in and out, but like the recovery time is like 1 week or 2 weeks, something like that. Like you can't work out right afterwards, no, but you'll be able to do normal things as opposed to getting a surgery and getting cut open again. So that's where I am today. I honestly don't even want to do that. I really don't, but that may be an option for me. I'm trying to hold off as long as I can, and I'm really trying to exhaust all natural remedies that I can do. But I'm taking my iron pills, I'm taking my sea moss. I was going to try the whole castor oil thing. I don't even know if that works, but I always like to try to exhaust all my natural options before I proceed with any type of surgical procedure, whether it's a simple one-day procedure or a cut me open. I am not trying to get cut open. I would rather go the route of the same day procedure. But one thing I do realize is that when you get rid of the fibroid, there's a great chance it's going to keep coming back. So I am baffled that there is nothing that can stop that from happening. I'm still, I'm not a doctor, but I try to do my due diligence to try to see what I can do as much as I can to prevent the fibroids from coming back, whether it's from eating, whatever. I'll do what I gotta do. But I just want to share that. I will keep you guys updated as far as my fibroid and let you know how everything is going. Right now, I have incorporated meat back in my life. I don't eat meat a lot. In the beginning, I was eating it because I didn't eat it for almost 2 years, so I was enjoying my steak. But lately, I've kind of missed just eating fish. Chicken, I honestly can do without chicken. Now, I love a good chicken wing. Don't get me wrong. I love my wings when it's time for football, whatever, but I'm really a big fan of salmon and fish and seafood and rice and stuff like that. But yeah, that's it. So guys, drop a comment in the comment section if you have dealt with fibroids, and let me know the things that you have gone through or what things you're doing now to try to prevent it. I would love to hear what you have to say, and I will keep you updated when it comes to my fibroid journey.